to you, Grenada, and the rest of the world. Monday morning, the 29th day of October, 2018. Folks, certainly hope you had a great weekend. We had good weather, man, good weather. It's been a peaceful weekend here in the Spice Isle, and we're looking forward to the week ahead of us. Now, bearing in mind that there is life after politics, I'm really looking forward to this morning's program because I promise you that we're going to have a chuckle along the way, yet, as always, you'll be well informed. It's going to be an unusual program, a little bit different. No CCJ talk and all of that, well, at least early in the program. We're going to take a look. We're going to go back in time once again. And as we have done, I think one day last week, we brought you a little feature done by a Grenadian poet who lives in the Big Apple in New York, Anthony DeRiggs. He's going to bring back some memories for you this morning. And this time, where he comes up with these ideas, I don't know. But this time, he's going to be talking about stoning mangoes. Stoning mangoes. And yeah, I think many of us, especially those of us who grew up out in the country, we know what it's like to stone mangoes. And not just mangoes. Last night actually, I was talking to a friend in New York, dear friend of mine, Margaret Francis. Margaret is one of the usual suspects on Make We Chat, which we do here on Thursday evenings. And Margaret said to me, I told her what we were going to do this morning about stoning mangoes. And Margaret said to me, you know what, George? The next time you see me, take a look at my forehead, top of my forehead, just in front of her hairline. She says, you'll see a dent there. You know what that's from? She mentioned the fruit that she used to stone. It wasn't mangoes. She didn't stone mangoes. But there's another fruit. I'm not sure if it was sugar apple, star apple, or whatever. But she used to stone those. And that stuff, one day, one of those stones came back and hit her right there and left her with a little mark which she will never, ever forget. So, this morning, Anthony is going to be talking about stoning mangoes. Now, after that, this being a Monday morning, we have a usual little feature from the Grenada Community Library, and that's where we bring in a young lady by the name of Tamika Binda. She's been with us a couple of times before. She's one of a group of volunteers down at the Grenada Community Library, and they do this little feature every Monday. They come in on a Friday afternoon and pre-record that, and then on Monday morning, we bring that to you. After Tamika does her little bit, we're also going to be hearing from the GIS with Friday's edition of the National Report. And then, pilgrims, then, you know that on Monday mornings, you folks usually saddle up and look forward to hearing from a lady by the name of Beverley Sinclair. Very outspoken, and that's why you guys look forward to hearing her on a Monday morning. I got sad news for you. Beverly ain't going to be with us this morning. She can't make it. But hold on. Replacing Beverly this morning, and it's only temporary, gentleman by the name of Mr. Gerry George. You know him as Suspect in Chief. Gerry is in Grenada. He comes in here at least once a month to do a feature called Face the Facts. And they did that live last night. Okay? I sat through and watched that whole program last night. I don't often get a chance to do that, but last night I made I made it a point of duty to sit and watch the entire program. A knockout. A knockout. So Beverley has kindly asked this young man, one of our usual suspects, to sit in her place this morning. And so he's going to be doing that right after the GIS report. Okay? Now, you think Beverley is outspoken? Wait until you hear my partner. Wait until you hear my partner. And keep your pinkies crossed. We haven't talked, so I don't know what he has up his sleeve this morning. But I can guarantee you, it's going to be worth your time to hang in there this morning. Okay? So that's our little lineup there for you this morning. And right now, let's get into our first little feature, which is from Mr. Anthony Wendell DeRiggs. And Anthony is going to bring back some memories for you about stoning mangoes. Check it out.
I'm going back, and I'll take you back. I'm going back to the 60s time, big 70s lime. Back to Clancy Island, Lego Beast Band. Hear music blast. That time done past. Then to BBC, the breeze and spray, and ride donkey. Why I feel so free. I'm going back. Big fed back then in the lion's den. Pan in your wire. The place on fire. Nice people for so. Well, you better pay at the door. I'm going back. The Black Experience Band. Harmony with brass. Magnificent Six. Children got licks. Fish on the wharf and big mass scene down Market Hill. We had our fill. I'm going back. The Caracou Sparrow. Pamela's Dan Troop. Crow on the radio. And Antique talking in style. It was worth the while. I'm going back to sit down in class, but not end up last. Back to Chinatown, stew fish and rice. That tasted so nice. I'm going back to the wooden bus, sweet roses, labor reward. To play hide and seek, then stone mango. I'm going back on stone mango and dance shango. I'm going back to kick a ball and bust a fall, to drink bush tea, dive in the sea, to take a drive in a Hillman car and a Bedford bus, then walk in dust. I'm going back to put my food in a carrier and dance to ska, to climb a hill and ground the till. I'm going back to wear afro and sport cornrow, to wear short jack and walk bareback. Boy, I watch my girl in a short hot pants. I feel so good. I want to dance. I'm going back to sing in church and watch moonlight. It shines so bright. Then to the river stone to relax alone. I'm going back to the political jam, the place ram cram, to take a walk in the cool night wind. Oh, the joys it brings. I'm going back to do the limbo. But let me tell you this. Messing Pit and Po, you're crazy. No more. I'm going back and I go stone mango. Anthony Wendell DeRiggs.
Anthony Wendell DeRiggs. Hey, didn't that bring back memories? I mean, come on, folks. Didn't that bring back memories? Yeah, my little brother and I used to go out under the mango tree, man. You aim and remember that? Yeah. Okay, right now, time for us to take a look at this week's edition of the Grenada Community Library's weekly feature, Caribbean Literature, quote, of the week. Here we go.
Brought to you by the Grenada Community Library. Welcome to the Caribbean Literature Quote of the Week. It is mine, I saw it first, said Anansi. Soon Anansi had 50 eggs in his bag, while Candlefly had none. Each time Candlefly found an egg, Anansi cried, "It is mine, I saw it first." And Candlefly, being weaker than Anansi, could not take the egg away from him. When Anansi had about 100 eggs in the bag, Candlefly, who had none, turned to him and said, "Mr. Anansi, since you are so greedy, you will have to find your way home without light. Good night." Candlefly flew home. There was no moon in the sky and rain clouds covered the stars. Anansi was not sure which way to go or where to put his foot. With his bag half full of eggs, he had to move carefully. He said, "What a wicked creature that Candlefly is, going off with the light and leaving me in the darkness. Poor me, I must try to find my way home." Walking slowly, picking his way, straining his eyes to see what lay before him, Anansi set off and walked right into the side of a small house. The night was so dark that he did not see the building until he walked into it. Not knowing whose house it was, Anansi called out, "Godfather, Godfather, it's me, Anansi, come to see you." From inside came a voice that Anansi knew and feared. "Who is that coming here at this time of night? Who is that?" "It's me, Anansi, with some eggs for you, Godfather Tiger." This was an extract from the fiction book West Indian Folk Tales, retold by Philip Sherlock. It is available in the George Parfitt Caribbean Collection at the Grenada Community Library, located on number 7 Lucas Street, St. George. These ancient folk tales, with simplicity, humor, and skill, were retold by Philip Sherlock, who was the Vice-Chancellor of the University of the West Indies, Mona, Jamaica. He had a deep knowledge of the culture and history of the original West Indian population who came from Africa and settled in the Caribbean islands. The Grenada Community Library expresses its thanks for the kind support of George Grant and GRENADABROADCAST.com. We invite you to listen every week, find us online, share and spread the wealth and worth of our literature and authors, and visit the Grenada Community Library to borrow great books for free.
Thank you very much, Tamika. I really appreciate that. Look forward to seeing you guys again next week. Now, if you find me a little bit rushed this morning, it's because coming up next, we've got the GIS report, and I really don't want to keep Mr. George, usual suspect in chief. I don't want to keep them waiting too long. So let's take a little break here, and then we'll come on back with the national report.
Pure Grenada, the Isle of Spice, is more than a slogan. Grenada boasts some of the world's best spices like nutmeg, mace, clove, ginger, turmeric, and true cinnamon. These clean and naturally safe pesticide-free spices that were once available only in local markets are now one mouse click away at GRENADABROADCAST.com. Our spices are responsibly harvested in small batches to preserve freshness, unlike some bulk spices that sit around in silos all year round. Log on to www.GRENADAMarket.com and shop for Grenada's best spices. GRENADAMarket.com. When you can't come to the island, the products of the island will come to you.
Grenadian General Insurance Company, strength and stability. Grenada Grenadian General Insurance Company. Tell your friends, tell your family. We cover householders comprehensive. Motor and even fire too. Contractors all risk burglary. Public liability. Professional indemnity. Directors liability. And wait, we still have more. Come and find out more what you're waiting for.
We are located on Scott Street, St. George's. For more information, call 440-2434.
Tell everybody.
For convenience, bill payments can be made at Bill Express at Western Union. Many of these are open until 6 p.m., including Saturdays. A 24-hour check drop box is also available at Grenlex customer care centers at Grand Anse and Bruce Street.
I'm always on the move. Training, traveling, competing.
A commemorative postage stamp.
So it's good to know I have Coop Bank in the palm of my hand.
Introducing e-banking, one of many customer convenience services from Grenada Cooperative Bank, and there's more to come.
It's swift, simple, and secure.
Welcome home.
More training and job opportunities for young people under an improved Imani program. Details to this story and more in the National Report. With the details to the news for Friday, October 26, 2018, I am Rakisha St. Louis. 800 young men and women are getting an opportunity to chart the course of their lives under a new and improved Imani program, which was launched on Friday. We get more in this report from June Paul.
800 young Grenadian men and women between the ages of 18 and 35 are part of the new Imani program BAT6, which boasts of major improvements to that which was first launched 16 years ago. It was launched at the Spice Basket on Friday, where Prime Minister Dr. the Right Honourable Keith Mitchell spoke of his government's fundamental responsibility to provide opportunities for the youth.
All that is necessary, my dear sisters and brothers, is you to grab the opportunity and use it effectively for yourselves and by implication your families and your country. That's all you owe us. You owe us nothing else. Friends, the sky is the limit for you. The opportunities that are available to you today were not available to me when I was growing up. With the technology in front of us, there's so much more we can do with the same amount of resources that we had years ago. So that's why we said, look, despite the fact when we came into government in 2013, the country had no money. But with no money, we still felt that we must dig down deep and find whatever resources that we can find to be able to bring in a few thousand young people and to give them some hope.
Asha Bailey, a member of the Imani alumni, delivered an impressive motivational speech saying that the training to be had by the 800 is one that can change their path in life and open doors for unimaginable successes.
As a former Imani, I cannot overemphasize the value of this program to the youth of Grenada and its ability to propel young persons to develop necessary employable skills in a most hands-on approach. Trainees, this experience will not be all smooth sailing. It will be challenging. You will be frustrated at times. You will be labeled negatively at times. But I urge you that you have to overcome these challenges. Remember that success does not always come to fruition without a challenge.
Program Manager Jesse Cumberbatch says BAT6 is an improved program of what was first launched in 2002. There are three main components to the program.
One, self-development. That component focuses on life skills, strengthening the personal competencies of the trainees in areas such as effective communication, conflict resolution, work ethics, and teamwork. Another component is skills training. This component focuses on the acquisition of employable skills, and that is through direct skills training as well as through apprenticeship on-the-job training. And the third component is the scholarship. It gives you an opportunity while you're part of the program to continue education at a tertiary institution, whether it's college or university.
Also attending the launch and orientation ceremony was Minister for Youth Development Honorable Keith Lewis and Permanent Secretary with responsibility for youth development and the arts, Kevin Andel. The theme under which Batch 6 of the new Imani program was launched is Expanding the Possibilities, Breakthrough to Excellence.
Thank you, June. It was on government's priority list for renovation, and now a contract has been signed and the sword turned to start construction on the St. John St. Mark Polyclinic, formerly called the Guelph Health Center. The project is funded by the European Union at a grant sum of $7 million and is expected to be completed in 16 months. Prime Minister Dr. The Right Honorable Keith Mitchell says his government continues to invest heavily in improving the health system in Grenada. However, he noted that an improvement in infrastructure must be complemented with an improvement in service delivery.
Have the major improvement in the infrastructure. I say that's fine. But if you do that by itself and you do not move towards improving the quality of healthcare, you do not ensure that you have the right number of nurses and doctors to service the facility to deal with people's care, if you do not have the mindset of the staff of the institution to care for people, no matter how much number of persons you have in the system, if we do not see an improvement in the level of care and interest in serving people, you're still in trouble.
Health Minister Nicholas Steele says the new polyclinic will serve residents of St. John, St. Mark and St. Patrick. He says the 3-story smart facility will offer a range of services including surgical procedures, dentistry and counseling.
This facility is expected to deliver quality, integrated primary healthcare services to the residents of St. John, St. Mark's and St. Patrick's. These services include access to dentistry, nutrition, health promotion, pharmacy, mental health, counseling and health promotion services, thus increasing access to affordable and good quality services, especially for vulnerable populations, including our women and children and elderly, the unemployed and persons with disabilities.
Parliamentary Representatives Alvin Dabrio and Dr. Clarice Modest Kerwin are overjoyed that the facility will soon mean better health care in the parishes.
This project is evidence of this. Today, I am extremely happy and overjoyed to see the commencement of this healthcare project.
It is certainly a great milestone for us, this sword turning. And I know you can truly say at last, with a confidence, because of the serious work that went in behind the scenes.
This is the National Report. We'll have more news after the break. Welcome back. The government of the United States has used the occasion of Grenada's October 25th Thanksgiving celebrations to call for a continued partnership with Grenada and other OACS countries in the fight against transnational crime and mitigating against natural disasters. The message from the U.S. President was delivered by U.S. Ambassador Linda Tagliatella at the National Ecumenical Service of Remembrance and Thanksgiving on Thursday. It was held at the St. Mark's RC Church.
We need to be even better prepared for the dangers and the inevitable seasonal storms that loom over our horizons. Let us continue to work together, not only to prepare to respond, but also to build our communities in ways that mitigate the potential for damage. Transnational crime in all its insidious forms, human and narcotic trafficking, money laundering, and other financial crimes, and the ever-present threat of terrorism demand our constant and vigorous mutual attention.
The service was attended by government and former government officials, members of the Diplomatic Corps, and representatives of the Conference of Churches, among others. Prime Minister Dr. Keith Mitchell says it was only fitting to thank the U.S. and Caribbean countries for their sacrifices and support to Grenada, not only during its political crisis, but also in the time of natural disaster. He said the strength of the country is not based solely on our undertaking, but the support of friendly countries.
Through the many challenges we have faced, the resilience of our Grenadian brothers and sisters have always stood the test of time. This too we must be thankful for. We must continue to harness the strength of character as a critical pillar of a foundation which we are building for the future growth and prosperity of this land of ours.
The service is organized every year by the National Celebrations Committee and the Conference of Churches. The sermon was delivered by Reverend Vonnie James of the Grenada Baptist Association. He said it is time to move from God talk to what he calls God action.
Some people need to apologize to some other people, but maybe repentance is in order. Some people need to ask forgiveness of God, themselves, and some other people. But maybe restitution is in order. Some people need to abolish the present party colors and instead voluntarily put on one color for Grenada. But maybe a national reconciliation is in order. However, all of us need to act now to put our country in the right spiritual consciousness.
And finally, a service was also held to honor the Cubans who lost their lives during the period at the monument overlooking the Morris Bishop International Airport. It was addressed by Foreign Affairs Minister Peter David, who said that Grenada will forever be grateful to Cuba for the sacrifices made by its people.
I want to, on behalf of the people of Grenada, thank Ambassador, through you, the people of Cuba, because we are well aware Cuba has its own difficulties. Cuba is not a rich country. It is amazing. It is not a rich country, but anywhere in the world you go, the Cuban contribution to development is well recognized.
A wreath was also laid by the Foreign Affairs Minister and Cuban Ambassador in memory of those who lost their lives while constructing the international airport. Following this, a memorial service was held at the St. George's Center Cemetery. Delivering the homily, Father Ronald Holder said there are still aspects of that period many do not know, and he is hoping the real truth will one day emerge.
I think peace can only come once that truth is made bare, and we can come to understand what took place, and in that way respect what took place, and in that way see in each one of us, because all who took part in whatever took place at that time need to take responsibility. We all need to take a look at ourselves.
That story just brought the curtains down on the national report for today, Friday, October 26th. Let's recap the top story. More training and job opportunities for young people under an improved Imani program. On behalf of all those who made this newscast possible, I am Rakisha St. Louis saying thank you for viewing. Until next time.
much for that edition of the National Report. Coming up next, Pilgrims, coming up next, Mr. Gerry George, Chief Suspect. He's going to be with us right after this.
GRENADA Community Partnership Initiative.
We at the Dorothy Hopkins Center can always rely on you for your steadfast help. It's always forthcoming. We have seen the benefits already. Our bill has been reduced, I was told, by over 40%, and that is welcome because that translates to more care for the residents. And so, thanks again.
GRENADA, energizing our community.
I'm always on the move. Training, traveling, competing.
A commemorative postage stamp.
So it's good to know I have Quad Bank in the palm of my hand.
Introducing e-banking, one of many customer convenience services from Grenada Cooperative Bank, and there's more to come.
It's swift, simple, and secure.
Welcome home.
Okay. Time now, my dear friends, to say good morning. He doesn't look anything like Beverley Sinclair. Take a look at that. Doesn't look anything like Beverley. I don't see any lipstick. I don't see any rouge. I don't see any eyebrow lashes and all of that. But there he is, Mr. George. How are you, sir?
I'm very well, thank you. I see you setting me up all morning, but go ahead.
You see what?
I see you setting me up all morning, but go ahead.
Why would I do something? Why would I? Gerry, no, I'm not. Oh my gosh. Gerry, good to see you, bro.
Absolutely.
Listen, man, I don't know what you got up your sleeve this morning, but the first thing I have to talk about is last night's program. Pardon me? I thought it was an excellent program. But I want to find out from you, what was your takeaway having sat there with these people and listened to them for, what, 2 hours?
Yeah, 2 hours.
Yeah?
The real issue at stake here is the question of the bill. I did my research, looked around at other referendums that have been held around the world. And normally a referendum is held on a basic question, a simple question. The last big one we had was in England, in the UK, where people simply asked, do you want to leave the European Union? Simple stuff. There was one in Australia not so long ago. Again, a very straightforward question. What Canadians are going to be asked to make a decision on is a very complex issue. They're going to be asked to agree with whether or not a bill is the one that should, that should take them forward. No, a bill is not a simple, easy thing for the common person to comprehend or to consume.
Mm-hmm.
A bill needs legal people, right, to interpret it. And so to go about and say, okay, I'm just giving you the essence of the bill, I don't think that is sufficient. And as we found it, we've been through this ourselves in Sinclair and GRENADA. And what became very obvious to us was that with legal people, they know how to leave trapdoors and all kinds of stuff in their legal language. And unless somebody sits up and looks straight, and here you had several lawyers in the audience there last night, and they're not happy. They have issues they think need to be addressed. And it is sad that we somehow in the Caribbean, listen, back up. As I started out by saying last night, a referendum, the word comes from the Latin, which means to recall back.
Mm-hmm.
It's the one time that the legislature has to go back to the people and not make law for themselves. Other than that, the legislature makes law, and the people just have to go along with it, because if the legislature has the majority, then once it is passed, it's law. In this particular instance, the crafters of our Constitution determined that for these kinds of issues, the people are the ones who should make the decision. But unfortunately, I'm seeing that the decision is literally being taken out of the hands of the people. The people have to vote, I agree, but the people are being told to do the will of the legislature. And I'm saying if that is what a referendum needs, it's a pass. Because people should be given the facts and make up their minds. And it is very difficult for a common man in any one of these islands to make up his mind on a 20-something page bottom line. And then there's an instance when we had all this, and people complained about the same thing, that they wanted the thing to be published. The Prime Minister said, the publishing in the newspaper, people take it and wrap sawfish. They keep it for that state, In other words, we don't really want to waste time doing this. You just take our words. My thing is that it should have been a simple question, and then we move on to the bill. For some reason, it's gone to the circle. Go on.
Did you get the feeling at any point during the session last night that perhaps the crack committee might be listening to what the people in the audience were saying?
If who might be listening?
If the crack, in other words, Dr. Alexis, did you get the feeling that he and his committee might be listening to what the audience was saying?
And also what they said, they'll do it, all right? And they said something said toward the end. In fact, again, going back because I like context. When asked why are we locked into doing this with Antigua, right? He said it was an agreement. No, when was this agreement made, and how were the people of Grenada involved in this agreement to have the same date, and which has locked us into this? Because he said, okay, if even now I see some of what you're saying and I want to change my mind, it would look good if we pull out the deal. So there is some unbreakable agreement that was made with Antigua that this has to go through on the 6th of November.
But in that case, doesn't the public here, the Grenadian public, have a right to know what's in that?
But that's my point. Who made that agreement, and what was it based on? That an agreement is made that ties the people of Grenada. Okay, the question that needs to be asked is, who came up with the date? Was it Antigua or was it Grenada? How did it come to the date of the 6th? Who came up with it? And is it being done to suit one country or the other country? Because they could not have simultaneously come with the date. There must have been some bargaining with the date. But the people were never brought into this. And another point was made by the TC leader, was that before they got the matter, the bill, to even debate it in the Senate, the date, everything had been said. This is a fit to complain. And these are the things that I see has happened in the region, that the people of the region have accepted for far too long. And it's not right. I am saying that we have to speak with sufficient knowledge. In the audience, you had Claudette, you had Jimmy, you had
Gerry.
Who else?
You had Gerry Edwin, you had Jimmy Bristol. You're talking about lawyers, right?
The lawyers,
yeah.
Right. So you have people there with the skill. In fact, Jimmy himself has appeared before the Supreme Court. So I'm talking about people who have the caliber. Okay? So if they are raising questions from a legal perspective, but what Dr. Alexis is like that, the matter was taken to the Bar Association and the Bar Association agreed. And as far as he was concerned, that gave them leave to go ahead with it because like the Bar Association has it. I mean, no man. Look at Britain. You have the question of the same referendum. Now that the bill is being processed, right? So they had the question, do you want to go leave or to stay? People said to Now they're progressing what the bill ought to say. You see what confusion they have in the European Union?
Yeah.
They are at the stage now of progressing the bill and all the various contradictions, confusions over the bill. We take it young way, we bring the bill.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tell people this, we decide that this 20-something document is what we should go for and find a place.
You know, Gerry, when you were talking a little while ago about people with knowledge, yes, you mentioned the lawyers, but there's another gentleman who was in the audience last night, Senator Lewis, and this guy is very, very knowledgeable. Now, I heard both him and Claudette make a call for a postponement of the referendum. Yeah. First of all, do you see merit in that, and do you think that do you think it's sinking in to the committee?
No, there is merit, because as I said, there are questions. Listen, basically, when we throw invitation to this, just for people who are absent, we had about 10 people there, which means there were 10 people with various concerns. Okay? From a businessman perspective, we have to play that business. All right? You have the lawyers, you have the social activists, the Josephs, right? So there are issues, and these people are saying, in fact, what they even went forward and said, listen, we want to support this thing, but we want to fix these problems. And to me, one that Andrew brought up is a very important one, that they want to get rid of things like election petitions. So basically, Grenada's election of 2015, all right, are still up in the air. The matter should have been processed to the court and be finished with. It is being allowed to languish. Jamaica had problems in their elections. Not Jamaica did. Jamaica suspended everything, went to a magisterial court, sorted the matter out. The Prime Minister delayed his swearing in, and a week later the swearing. Why can't we have the same level of decency in our business in these parts? Incidentally, a judge has been cited for apparent bias over the citizens that the Grenadines last election challenged. All right? So to me, that's key. Let's think was important. Big deal. You see, what they're saying is that this didn't happen with the Privy Council, but it wouldn't happen with the Privy Council, because the Privy Council didn't want to come up to that gradual level of saying, hey, you have the election, we don't want to have anything. But we are saying that we are making the CCJ something for us in the Caribbean. And elections are issue for us in the Caribbean. England will never have a problem like we have in the region. In England, you will never have a party that wins all the seats. And you hardly ever get to a stage where a party, a government goes into office with a one-seat majority. And those are total failings of the Westminster system. Hence, we need to have laws that fit our reality. And so, one of the laws that fit our reality is that we should be able to test the whole question of our election and to ensure that all went right. They don't want that. And the other thing that I find interesting is the entrenching of all of this into the country's constitution. It's not that way in any of the other countries that are vaccinated. So you're making it, so in other words, what you're saying is that if there any changes want to be made in this, you don't have to just leave the people out.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's where the worry is.
You know, I got a feeling last night while watching the program that not only are the people in the audience, the constituents, concerned about this whole thing, but last night watching Dr. Alexis and reading the comments that were on your program, on the Facebook program, I got the feeling that the audience was sort of recognizing maybe a little frustration on the part of Dr. Alexis, and I got the sense that maybe he's starting to feel a little pressure, which could be good.
Put it this way, George. Have you read the last report about what the current president said? He expressed his exasperation and his frustration that the people of the region.
Yes, I saw that. Yes, yeah.
In their commitment, in my mind, they're basically saying, we don't have this.
Yeah.
That's what he basically said. I really thought that this was a good deal, that we would have had this much simpler, but it is not happening.
Yeah.
And it is not happening, and it's unfortunate because I don't think that there's anybody so perverse that they don't want to have a regional institution. It's just that they have not dealt with the issues. Look, let me give you a case in point. On Friday or Thursday last week, one of the days, the court in Antigua delivered a sentence that the commissioner of police, who had been suspended, that the act to suspend him was unlawful. Within 2 hours, the Public Service Commission went and issued another suspension order right in the face of the court.
Yeah.
The chairman of the Public Service Commission is an attorney who was an acting judge. Now, when people see these things, what do you think they are thinking, George? What do you think they're thinking? They say, listen, okay then, so if a court hands down a judgment like this, and people have the gall to go up in the face of the judgment, all right, a man who would have sat as a judge, do you think people have confidence? And
Yeah.
those are the issues that if the CCJ was smart, they would find ways to send signals to those things and say, these are not supporting us. But let me tell you another area that I think stunned Dr. Francis Alexis last night was the question of the money. Well, somebody brought up the fact that the CCJ had also invested in British America, and they made a point that they had gotten back all the money. George, to me, that is stunning.
Yeah. You know, somebody mentioned that to me last night. Somebody who was watching the program in New York, and I said to her that I expect Dr. Alexis to be sitting in this chair next to me later on this afternoon. He comes in here every Monday afternoon to do his piece, and you know, Gerry, that's one of the questions I'm going to fire. I'm not on the program, but it's.
He said he doesn't know. He doesn't know.
Well.
But he knew that following the financial meltdown of 2008, that they lost a lot of money. So how he know that part and he ain't looking at that? You get me?
I don't know, Gerry. I don't know.
I know. It was like saying when we into saying, oh, well, you know, they lost a lot of money in the financial meltdown of 2008. But I don't know whether or not they got back money from America.
I don't know. Gerry, lots of questions to be asked and answered between now and the 6th of November, and hopefully maybe an extended period in the offing. I don't know. But
I don't see a Caribbean government that has that kind of, what's that called?
Go ahead, say it.
Magnanimity. Because they will see that as a failure, and they prefer to push ahead and fail rather than back up and say, okay, let's listen to what the people here say. Because already, that's Francis said, listen, if we do this, it's going to go back for us. So it's all about how it will look.
You know, the sad thing about this is that they'll probably go ahead with it like you're suggesting, and then subsequently down the road come the consequences, by which time the people who are making the decision right now not to take a break, not to stop, they're gone. And you and I have to pay those consequences.
No, but he said either way, right? If this fails, it's going to make it more difficult the next time. And that's what they're playing with.
point to make.
That's why probably they should sit down and think, okay, if these people are saying, we will work with you, just fix these things, they should get it.
The point I'm making, Gerry, is that when the consequences come, them guys gone. Yeah.
I agree, and with you that, if it goes and think that people are not sort of about it. It's not us good at delivery.
Yeah.
As Taylor started said, can those young people trust us to make the right decision? So that's a serious question.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, Gerry.
Cheers, man. Have a good one.
And we'll see you on Thursday night. No excuses this week. Okay. Take it easy, man. All right. Gerry, thank you, my friend. Gerry George, who's in here from St. Vincent. He was here to do his an incredible program last night. And by the way, for those of you who may have missed it, I want to suggest that you go back to Facebook. It should be up there, Facebook/Gerry George. Interesting program. Ran for just a little over 2 hours. But some interesting points came up. Let's take a little break here now, my dear friends. Let's take a little break, and then we'll come on back and bring you today's inspirational words right after this.
GRENADA Community Partnership Initiative.
We're here in sincere appreciation to GRENADA as a utility corporation for the donation of that rooftop solar generating plant. It would reduce our monthly bill. On behalf of the Hillsview Home residents and the wider community here at Gove, to just thank GRENADA most sincerely for that thoughtful donation.
GRENADA, energizing our community.
Conveniently located in the Grandstand Shopping Center, for over 40 years, Food Fair has provided quality service at affordable prices. Now, grocery shopping is made easier and more convenient from the Food Fair web store.
Hey, babe. Listen, I need you to go down to Food Fair to get some groceries.
All right, no problem. Right away.
Thanks, babe. What are you doing? You're supposed to be going Food Fair to get a grocery, man.
I am, but didn't you know you can order your groceries online from the Food Fair web store?
Are you serious?
Of course. All you have to do is just to log on to www.foodfair.gd with credit card in hand, and with an order of $100 or more, Food Fair Granads will deliver up to 3 miles away. And you don't even have to worry about your information, you know. Their safety measures are excellent.
So hold on. You just order online and Food Fair will deliver to you?
Yep.
Oh, baby, better hurry up and order, man.
I already did. They should be here any minute now.
Enjoy easy online shopping anytime from your home or office from the Food Fair web store. Food Fair, where you can fill your baskets without emptying your pockets.
Pure Grenada, the Isle of Spice, is more than a slogan. Grenada boasts some of the world's best spices like nutmeg, mace, clove, ginger, turmeric, and true cinnamon. These clean and naturally safe pesticide-free spices that were once available only in local markets are now one mouse click away at GRENADAmarket.com. Our spices are responsibly harvested in small batches to preserve freshness, unlike some bulk spices that sit around in silos all year round. Log on on to www.grenadamarket.com and shop for Grenada's best spices. GrenadaMarket.com. When you can't come to the island, the products of the island will come to you.
You know, folks, that's just about going to do it. But before we go, a couple of things. First of all, those of you who heard the program yesterday heard me mention that, for the last several months we've been having a lot of issues with the internet. And I mentioned that we do expect that issue will be resolved. Notice all my pinkies crossed, okay? Will be resolved by Wednesday of this week. Actually, they said they're going to do the installation on Wednesday, so we expect that it will be after we do this program on Wednesday, which means that you probably may not be hearing a difference until Thursday. All right. So I think, a lot of people got very excited about that, including yours truly. Well, I'm sitting here this morning, and you're not going to believe it. For the first time in eons, I have sat here for almost an hour, 57 minutes and 50 seconds to be exact, and we have not had one outage. Not one outage. It's amazing how things work in our beautiful little country, isn't it? Anyhow, my prayer for you today is that the words of inspiration, which I'm about to share with you, will bring you some confidence and hope for what's coming your way. It's a very short passage, only 3 verses, taken from the book of Job, Job 19. Verses 25, 26, and 27. I know that my Redeemer lives, and in the end, he will stand on the earth. And after my skin has been destroyed, yet in my flesh I will see God. I myself will see him with my own eyes and not another. How my heart yearns within me. Yeah. Job 19, 25 to 27. On that note, my dear friends, this is where Georgie Porgy is going to say thank you very much to those of you on Facebook and those of you listening on the other platforms around the world. Just let me take a quick peek, and see where some of the people are with us this morning around the world. Clicky. And I see that they're in Brooklyn, New York. They're in Southall in England, Delray Beach in Florida. Victoria, British Columbia. Oh, that's early for you guys out there in British Columbia. And also in Zurich, Switzerland, and also in Germany. Thank you all for joining us this morning. Georgie Porgy sending God's blessings your way by his grace. Let's do it all over tomorrow morning.